There was a whole thing, or at least a couple of these back and forth. One with Ilhan Omar, another one with AOC, where the right wingers started attacking them for what they were saying. Like at least one was trying to go after which one was it, the one of the Senate candidates in Georgia, because Ilhan's of course trying to get Senate
Oh,
control in the hands of,
Warnock.
with Warnock.
Yeah,
So they're doing the
Warnock.
same.
Their
They're
attacks
yeah,
are.
they're pulling the
It's
same
like
playbook out.
He was a youth pastor at a church in the
Right.
90s, and they hosted Fidel Castro when he was a youth
Yeah.
pastor there. So they're trying to make that one of the attacks, and the other one is that he gave a speech supporting Palestinian
Right.
rights.
So then
So they're trying to make those the two cornerstones of their attack campaign.
right. So here we go. So Kelly Loeffler. Here we go. That's the the candidate over here, the Republican candidate, right? So it's
Well,
no
why
one.
don't you give us a backstory on who she is?
Well, I mean, the only thing I know about her, she's running. She's the Republican candidate. She was
She's the
ahead,
one that
right?
got caught
She
insider
was.
trading.
Well, I was about to get to that part.
She
Hold
was
on, hold on.
appointed to her seat. She didn't win
She
her
was
seat. She
right.
was
She was
appointed
appointed to her
by that
seat,
scumbag governor.
but
And
I was gonna save
er,
that part for the clapback. But
oh,
but here
well,
we go. So it's no wonder the squad fully supports Reverend Warnock. He totally supports their dangerous and extreme agenda, and Ilhan Omar completely agrees with his disgraceful comments about our active service members, veterans, and their families. Oh yeah,
what comments are these?
huh?
What comments are those?
What do you mean?
What did she say about our active soldiers?
Okay. So let me go to that really fast because Ilhan did the only thing that she put out in respect to the service members was let me see where it was. Damn, I thought I have all this stuff saved up. So here we go. So then Ilhan clapped back here. So blatant lies from the disastrous insider trading QAnon conspiracy supporting fear mongering appointed Cali. Pro tip: to win an election, you run on ideas, debate your actual opponent, and defend your record. Not run against the squad. Ask Trump. He fucked around and found out. So,
Mm-hmm.
so before this, Ilhan had actually said something else about Reverend Warnock, and that was that you can't serve both God. Can't support multiple gods or something like that. Which let
Who
me
said
see.
that?
Yeah, Ilhan had said something like that. I'm trying to find it now that I forgot it into bookmark these things. One. So this is what she put out beforehand. That was a reply to Marco Rubio. So Matthew 6:24. No one can serve two masters, for either he will hate the one and love the other, or he will be devoted to one and despise the other. You cannot serve God and the money. The lies and smears of the GOP have no boundaries, but this is a disgrace and shameful. So then they took
Huh,
that.
what? Oh man, what did it say? Huh? What did it say? You cannot serve him at the same
Yeah, she was. It
time
was a yeah.
with the radicals who control the Democratic Party's activists, small dollar donor base believe. What's he saying? That's it. Let's listen to Warnock there.
Okay, let's go
Is
to it.
that that might be the Palestinian one.
Yeah, see that's yeah, that was a one from Marco Rubio. Not shocked, Georgia Senate Democrat. Yeah, okay.
No, I want to hear what
Yeah,
Warnock is
yeah. Let
saying.
me pull this up.
America, nobody can serve God and the military. You can't serve God and money. You cannot serve God and mammon at the same time. America, choose ye this day whom you will serve.
It's so funny. They can't, like, this is all they can find.
Choose ye this
Right?
day.
Yeah.
Like, they can't find anything. They have to go with, oh, he said this thing that is confusing to some people. It's like they can't
Right.
even find him. Like, he
Right.
can't say, like, there's not even, like, him being, like, anti-war or him being, like, pro-choice or something. Like, it's
Mm-hmm.
all just this. They're trying to misconstrue, like, biblical slogans he said in his,
Right. Right. So
you
yeah,
know.
that's why Ilhan went ahead and replied with that quote from Matthew 6:24.
Did Rubio reply? Because I don't know how he could reply.
Yeah. No, that's when we started seeing this shit from Kelly Loeffler.
Because
So
that's what they have to do.
so
They should stop
so
tangoing with the squad every single time they
yeah.
get bodied.
But look at this shit though. So Ilhan, we saw a video of you smiling and laughing while talking about Al Qaeda and 9/11. We know that you funneled millions of dollars to your new husband's consulting firm, and we know you're unabashed anti-Semite. You should be expelled from Congress. To which Ilhan said, "Sorry, Kelly. If you need help writing a real clapback, I am here to help. This ain't it. Try harder."
Yeah.
Yeah. But that shit went on a little bit. Actually, went on for another one. To which Marjorie Taylor Greene just decided to chime in against Ilhan. Back down, Ilhan. You married your brother. You're disqualified from running your mouth. And Ilhan went ahead and had some heat for her too. Looks like the crazy lady has logged in. I know things might be different where you come from, but you have to get off the loony train now that you are in Congress.
Yes. Yeah. Like, as usual, right? It's going to be the normie Dems are going to play that like civility bullshit.
Right. And they'll just let themselves get shit talked by these QAnon motherfuckers.
Well, yeah, exactly. They're going to continue to get shredded by them. And then nobody is going to call out the fact that that lady is a legit QAnon person. Like all of her stuff, like it's all, like if you ever listen to like QAA, like any of the like the podcast about QAnon, like they.
Yeah, well, the problem with that clip, no, there wasn't a problem with the clip. They're trying to turn that whole thing about God and the military into some kind of a religious scandal or some shit. But it's pretty. It's pretty laughable when they have to reach that far to find something.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They don't have anything. He's so
yes.
And like, I mean, there's good and bad with that, right? Because he doesn't have anything, so he's not like appealing to anybody, right? There's not like something that's going to get people who want to vote for that, right? But at the same time, that means that there's nothing they can take out of context. There's not, I mean, there is, right? Like you saw them try to do it, but they just look pathetic. Like he's got to, so he can appeal to people who just, who want a Republican basically who's not all, without all the craziness, right? Like the opposite of Marjorie Taylor Greene. They want Republicans who are just going to do the terrible shit, like, continue the imperialist project, continue the class war, and then just not talk about it, go back to dog whistling it.
Do these women know they will potentially have to be in the same room with Ilhan? Like, how do you think this shit is going to play out once the House rules and so forth are in play? I mean, I don't think they're considering that. They're just trying to run their mouths and thinking that they're going to be able to just get away with this kind of stuff. Look at this, the next one by Ilhan. Callie, I just won my re-election. You're about to lose your job. Maybe, just maybe, you shouldn't have profited from the pandemic while your constituents needed you to inform and fight for them. Sorry, none of this noise will drown out the sound of defeat. Yeah.
Yeah.
Why do they
There's no way there's no way that woman should win. Like, she did, and she should have been, like, any person with any decency would have resigned, or if not resigned, been, asked to step down like they did with Al Franken, right?
Yes.
It's completely fucked up that, like, Al Franken's thing, which was basically posing for a lewd photo. I think it was, like, the woman was asleep, and they took a picture where he was pretending to squeeze her boob.
Yeah.
Right? Is that all?
Yeah, that's all. That's what it was. That was it. They didn't allege actual misconduct other than that photo.
Okay.
But
and
see
he
what
stepped down for that.
But see what PJ's asking about is if one of them or both of them go on the floor of the House or the Senate or whatever it is and start trying to say this shit about Ilhan. I mean, that ethically there's ramifications for that sort of thing, right? It's like
I
what they
don't
threw.
think so. I mean,
It's like what they threw Elizabeth Warren out of the Senate once for, but except this would actually have basis.
what what did they throw her out of the Senate for?
You remember when they had that whole she persisted thing where she read the
Mm-mm.
letter from Coretta Scott King and about I think it was about Jeff Sessions that he shouldn't be appointed to this position because he's a racist and all that. So she was quoting the letter from Coretta Scott King, and it said some shit about Jeff Sessions and what a fucking asshole he is. And then while she was quoting it, the Senate, I think I'm not sure, it just came down to McConnell, but whatever it is, they censured her for disparaging a former member of the Senate or a member of the Senate, is what it was. And then Mitch McConnell did that speech where he came out and said she was warned, she was given an explanation. Nevertheless, she persisted.
Um, well, I mean, obviously she was probably right,
Yeah,
right?
I
But
mean, she was
like,
just reading the letter from Coretta Scott King, so it's not
yeah,
exactly the same kind of shit.
well, she just read the letter.
Yeah, she just read the letter, and that's why they censored her and threw her out of the Senate chambers. Yeah.
Um, yeah, it's like usually you're supposed to have accountability with the electorate and with your party, right? I
Mm-hmm.
feel like that's the rules that Congress was like developed with, right? Like, oh, we don't have to have rules about shit talking
Right.
because if they do something, their colleagues will call them on it, or their
Mm-hmm.
colleagues will like check them on that shit. But we obviously don't have that, right? Like we have like just this complete yahoos who get away with whatever they want, and
Yep.
their voters will still vote for that.
Mm-hmm.
Like they, um, that's just not going to change either. Like
Mm-hmm.
they have these people, they have the country so polarized, and they have like the Republican base are that they like that shit, right? Like they're totally into that like racial agitation,
They
like
are. But, well, let's go to on the AOC front. This tweet got some attention from Nikki Haley. There we go. To get the virus under control, we need to pay people to stay home. That somehow set people or set her off. Republicans are mad at this when they literally just voted to do this in March. The reason they're opposed to it now is because last time they got a Wall Street bailout and this time that all that's left is helping working people, the disabled, the poor, etc. And then funny how you don't hear Republicans complain about spending other people's money or ask about how we're going to pay for it when they insisted on creating a $4 trillion leverage slush fund for their Wall Street buddies in March. To which Nikki Haley had this to say: "Are you suggesting you want to pay people to stay home from the money you take by defunding the police? Or was that for the student debts you wanted to pay off, the Green New Deal, or Medicare for All? Where's the money?" And
um
to which AOC had this to say, which was, "Nikki, I'm suggesting Republicans find the spine to stand up to their corporate donors and vote for the same measure they did in March, except without the Wall Street bailouts this time. And I know you're confused about actual governance, but police budgets are municipal, not federal." Utterly
yeah,
embarrassing
yeah,
that this woman
exactly.
was a governor and still doesn't have the grasp on public investment. Wonder if she says federal financing works like a piggy bank or a household too. All this false seriousness from folks who worship Trump for running the country like his casino. What,
um
like, bro? Why do they even try?
because they have to, right? Like they don't
It's
have,
embarrassing.
and like that works with their base. Like they have their base, and they're trying to remind their base to come out and vote. They're not trying to convince new people, right? Like that's
uh,
not their job. Like that's Trump's job
right.
basically, right? Like the the charismatic people like that, um, which is basically just Trump these days. Like they are the ones who bring in the new members, like the new voters, and it's the other people just rely on pure partisanship. They just rely on
Yep.
uh, like antagonism towards the Democrats. Like that was literally Trump's strategy was like we hate the same people,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like that's what a lot of them run on.
Right.
So it's like what they and a lot of it, they basically don't have to they don't have to, like, it doesn't matter if they get owned by the squat, right?
Yeah.
Like their face doesn't